The thing that I probably know you best for doing is working with what I'll loosely term paint. But I know there's more. There's very many mediums that you can use for painting. But that's what I mainly know you as, someone
Yeah.
who creates with paints, drawings, sketches, that sort of thing. Is that is that fair, or do you see what you do as beyond that?
Uh, I mean, yes, that's well, no, I don't know. So I realized, so in this time of around 10 years of processing what I'm doing, it's I realized that first of all, the first realization was that I want to paint people. I want to paint. At the time, it was nudes, and I want to do that. That was very clear. Even before that, I was I was modeling for classes, and I knew that there's something very attracted me there. If it was nudity, if it was body, but it was very true. It was very honest, and this is what I wanted to do. And actually, the people told me not to do it, and then I said, "Oh, okay, there's something there to do." And um, and then with time, so in the beginning, it was just learning the profession and learning how to paint and learning how to teach it, which magically for me came very cohesively. So I basically started painting, and then I got pupils, and then I was teaching them, and I was learning during the week how to teach them, and so on. So that was the first thing. But so it is painting, but with time, I realized that it's much more than that. With time, so the first big show actually in the gallery, so outside, so started small galleries, and then big gallery was actually live painting, which is a performance. So it was a performance, but very, for me, very, yes, it was a performance. So the idea was, how can I engage people much more in art, in the process of doing art. What's, the dissolve the magic, not make a religion out of it, but make it something that people can relate to or can understand or can work with in their heart, or in a situation, or in questioning themselves. And so that was it. So today, and actually that stick, that's actually what I'm doing today. Is, so yes, so it still is only painting. It's still in the basic. This is I always try to I used to sell wine, and I mixed it up with that, but basically wine is just grape juice. It doesn't matter if it's a Chateau Margaux 1948 or 72. It's just grape juice. That's it. And of course, it's much more than that, and it's a grape juice that's very expensive. But and the same thing with paintings. It's if I paint with a pen a child in Syria and on the border, and I portrait, and after that, so there's, and I bring it to Switzerland and I show it in a gallery. There's a total different story behind that. It's But in the end of the day, it's just ink on paper, and the paper is thin, and the child is, nobody cares about that, and the artist, in the end of the day, nobody cares about that. But the story is still very live, and the paintings, they carry a lot of weight with them. They are alive as well. So if I'm a painter, I don't know. I'll let other people decide. I think that it's art. So it's there's something very basic, but so artist. I wrote artist painting teacher. I used this sort of slogan that I'm using as a slogan for me, and I think that the painter is very important, but it's, yeah,
I
like
think that's
artists.
why I asked that.
Yeah, sorry.
I think that's why I asked. I wondered what the how that lives for you, as the in the art, the artist lives in the process rather than the product. I guess as a way of defining it. And I wondered how you saw that. I think the analogy with wine is quite strong. As I said, you see the bottle, but you don't see the process. And
Yeah,
it feels to me for you that perhaps the art really lives in the process rather than the end result?
No, definitely. The end result is actually marketing. The end result is irrelevant to the process that you're doing. It's actually the end result. I would even suggest that the end result is irrelevant to anything that you think about it. So me as an artist, the end result is, I can be happy about it, but it's the end result is actually where the art takes its life of its own. I used to it was a painting, the series of the people, and so just semi-abstract, a little bit popish working, but they were visions, and for me they were dreams, and I had to paint them, and so I did. And a lot of times they were nightmares. A lot of times they were really bad and negative. But for people outside of it, it was like, oh, that's so fun and fun. Oh, it's so nice and it's so dreamy and so on. For me, it was like we are vaporizing ourselves as a human being. The humankind is going somewhere that it's not predictable, whatever. But that was my vision. And at the moment that it got its own life, it was, I learned to just shut up. Because in the beginning I was like, no, it's actually, this is visions of Auschwitz. Yeah, this is, but for the people it was, it's so nice they come between them and so on. So, yes, so the process is, or my opinion and the process is much more important for my work. But the end product is it is an end product, and then it has a life of its own, and then, yeah.
Those projects like the people that you just mentioned, that feels like it was quite a personal, as you said, it was kind of a personal experience that you then projected onto into the art. It feels to me that you've moved away from that sort of thing more, and moved into more creating, not so much from personal experience, but trying to capture other people's experiences. I'm thinking of the projects that you mentioned already that you did in Syria, for example. Again, I'm going to say that's my perception. Is that a fair thing to say? And if so, when did that occur, and why did you move away from expressing something personal to trying to capture something about other people's experiences?
So it was the People series was, it's actually also through realization and experience. They were very financially, they were a big success for me, and they kept me alive for more than 3 or 4 years. But in the moment I stopped doing them as a vision, so I just said, okay, that works, and then I will start doing them again. Then I just stopped selling them. They just didn't sell enough, or they didn't get the reaction that I was hoping for. And so there was that, and then I realized that I need to be. I cannot do this. I cannot entertain. I'm an artist. I'm not an entertainer. I'm not here to entertain you. I'm not here to make your life pretty. This is not my job. It's other people's job, and they're doing great, but this is not my job. Although I wish sometimes that this would be it. And I was working, and the ideas. Yeah, so that's it. And then telling the story, I think that it doesn't matter how strong I work on it, I will always be a part of the painting. I will always be a part of a part of me is always comes in alive. It's the way I see the world. It's the way I see the children. It's the way I see. It's like I was painting couples a few like last month. I worked on a project of intimacy, and it didn't matter. I was in a very deep space at the time, or a very dark space, coming into the project that was just on a burnout space, and that of course came up with the paintings. And in general, I know that I'm not really a happy guy. I'm okay, but I'm not a happy guy, and that comes out through the paintings. And of course, so yes, so the switch was, I just wanted to see, and I wanted to ask questions, and I wanted to meet people, and I wanted to meet, and the idea of making art in places like Belarus, or the way that I do art is actually to, again, my tradition of closing the gap between people and art. So bringing art as close as possible to the people and make art serve in a certain way. So, and I realized that this is actually the what I want to do is serve in a certain way and let art serve. So yes.